So we are live today, and our special guest is Adam Swain Ferguson. He is a local from Santa Clarita, and I met Adam from kind of a mutual friend of ours, uh, Veronica, who is actually your illustrator, your co-partner in the project.
Yeah, I call her my book co-parent.
Okay, there you
Right?
go. So the main purpose really of this chat is because myself, I'm fascinated by how people got started with maybe a project, a side hustle, small business, advocacy, or or anything that drives them to go beyond what they're doing, we're currently doing. Now, Adam actually has an event, a big event tomorrow. But before we talk about the event, we'd like to know more about who Adam is. Now, Adam, can you tell us where you grew up?
Yeah, I am from a small town in North Carolina called Southern Pines,
Mhm.
kind of the rural South. It's a really kind of an interesting place because you're not too far removed from the city, but it's still a little bit of a country life. But then you've also
Mhm.
got golf, you've got horses. It's a really interesting place to grow up.
Now, I was reading your bio and said that you moved to Los Angeles or California 2017.
Yeah, we moved out here. My husband and I were actually moving all around. So he was in the army. We met in North Carolina. Then we lived
Mhm.
in Missouri for about 9 months. And then we were in upstate New York for the better part of 3 years. And, after living in 6 feet of snow during the winters, we decided when he retired that we'd go somewhere warm where we hopefully wouldn't have to see snow again. And so we decided that the LA area was probably going to be the best bet for us. He was
Mhm.
applying to different grad schools, and one of the ones that he got in was City of Hope out in Duarte, just past Pasadena. And
City of
so we
Hope.
were LA bound.
Did you say City of Hope?
City of Hope, yep, yep.
Okay. Yeah. City of
He's
Hope.
no, he's no longer there.
Uh-huh. All right. Now, uh, you are basically, you have, I know, aside from your being an author and a storyteller, you actually have a professional uh, personality, right? And where did the being a storyteller come from? Is that something that you kind of felt you have in you during your childhood?
So, yes, from my childhood, I mean, I'd always like to think that I've been a little bit on the creative side, and I'm always trying to find a creative outlet. So, my mom is also a published children's book author. She wrote a book called Oliver the Cranky Crocodile when I was 7 years old for me.
Mhm.
And I remember that story and it stuck with me. She was always writing, she was always drawing, and it just kind of always really inspired me. I was a little bit more like visual arts oriented for a really long time. I first went to school for graphic design, but I always was involved in a little bit of creative writing. And it just kind of got put on hold like as I grew up and life happens. I ended up going to when we were in New York, got my real estate license, and I became very involved in real estate and property management, just kind of like general professional stuff. And I didn't really like exercise my creative mind
Mhm.
like I had wanted to. But then we moved to Los Angeles, and I was again going to pursue a career in real estate and also graphic design. And I decided to do some background work, as one does when they're in LA.
Mhm.
And I became fascinated with how productions operate. I definitely didn't want to be an actor. I don't have an acting bone in my body, but I was fascinated by how the producers work. And so I went back to school. I got my undergrad in entertainment business and then my master's in producing because I wanted to be a storyteller. To me, it was coming full circle, and I wanted to write and develop content for television. As it would have it, the job I ended up finding, which I'm very grateful for, I love the company that I work for, is mostly corporate videos.
Mhm.
It's still media and producing, and so once again, to have kind of a creative outlet, I started venturing into children's books, and it didn't ha- it was kind of an interesting way that I got into that because it just came so naturally because my son is adopted, and the book that I wrote is an adoption fairy tale, and it was a way to explain his adoption to him that was magical instead of mechanical, which is what I was finding in so many different children's books on the market about adoption. And so I just wanted to tell him about it from in a narrative way and give
Hmm.
him a story to, kind of resonate with. And that's how the first book was born. It's just something I was rocking him to sleep one night and started making up a fairy tale. And then I found I've got a knack for this. I love it. And so now I'm actually working on another series of books.
Now, this is the book that we're sharing right now, correct? This is Love Without
Yeah.
Wings.
Yep.
Now, what motivated you from in starting the idea of the book, starting from the idea and really realizing the book, putting it into a physical form?
Well, because as I said, it was started as a bedtime fairy tale, and the more and more I made it up, the more and more I thought, wow, this is actually really good. So one night I recorded myself telling it to him, and then I wrote it down and I started tweaking it. I'm like, I've always been interested in kids literature. Again, my mom wrote a children's book for me when I was 7 years old. And I thought, okay, well, let me see if I can do this. Let me see if I can put it into a book format. So I spoke to one of my friends, Caroline, and she's a neighbor, who connected me with Veronica, and it just seemed to flow so naturally that we would publish this, because I really thought, you know what, if this story is important to me as an adoptive father, it's going to be important to other adoptive families in the world. So I wanted to make an impact, and so that's why I decided to see it through into an actual published book.
Now, this is also the book is also in relation to the date that is, what is it, the National Adoption Week, a month?
So November is National Adoption Month. The book was published on November 19th last year, so it's its book birthday in a couple of days, which was National Adoption Day last year.
Okay.
And so tomorrow is actually Saturday is National Adoption Day, November 18th for this year. So it's always a really deeply personal month and time for us and our family.
Mhm. So, has there always been a book, a children's book about adoption?
There are plenty of children's book about
Okay.
adoption. There's some great children's books about adoption, but none of them told the story that I wanted to tell. None
Mhm.
of them approached it from the viewpoint that I wanted my son to see his adoption through. I wanted him to see it through a magical lens, and so that's why I created it the way I did.
Now let's talk about the event that's going to happen tomorrow. This is going to be at the Open Book in Canyon Country,
Hmm.
19188 Soledad Canyon. Anything that you can tell us about the event? What's the expectation?
Well, the expectation. So the open book has become a bit of a stopping ground for me and
Mhm.
Veronica. We go there quite a bit, but this will be the second time that we've actually had a reading at the open book. What's exciting tomorrow, again, we are celebrating the book's birthday and National Adoption Day. But one of the things that I've been hard at work on, I'm a video producer, and writing the book was just kind of a creative outlet for me.
Mhm.
But what I wanted to do, I wanted to take it to video. So I had the illustrations. I got in touch with a fantastic motion graphics artist. I had the illustrations animated. I hired a voiceover artist. I commissioned original music to be scored for the book, and I've turned it into a video. And tomorrow is going to be the day that it is published live
Mhm.
in honor of National Adoption Day. It will be live, and we'll be doing a special screening of it at the open book, which is kind
So,
of like coming home.
can we give our audience a quick preview of the book, the video book?
Give a preview of the video book. Yeah.
All right, let's do it.
Hi, my name is Adam Swain Ferguson, proud adoptive dad and author of Love Without Wings, an adoption fairy tale.
a children's picture book illustrated by my friend and partner on this publishing quest, the amazingly talented Veronica Stanley Hooper. Through thoughtfully crafted words combined with stunning imagery, this book draws you into the tale of two kings who embark on a magical quest after their wish for a family lands on a shooting star, and the fairy who makes that wish come true. Love Without Wings began as a very special bedtime story, one inspired by my own family's adoption journey of 2 years. Years spent waiting, wishing, and even grieving. We had all but given up, yet when we received a call informing us that we had been chosen by our son's biological mother, our entire world turned right side up. Every tear shed, every heartache simply melted away the moment we held him in our arms. Our tears of grief were replaced by tears of boundless joy. What I have learned through this experience and now wish to share with the world is a message of hope, that even when the journey sometimes feels like we are crossing rivers, mountains, and even trudging through the densest and darkest woods, hold on to hope and look for the light, because it only takes one miraculous moment for everything to change. Oh, that was my Kickstarter trailer.
I love it. The
I
the
also noticed that I'm wearing the same shirt in the Kickstarter trailer.
well, it could be the the thing that would identify you from the project.
Oh, yeah, it's branding.
Branding.
Yeah, that was so what you were showing, that was my attempt at actually doing a little bit of animation on my iPad. So when I
Mhm.
was putting together the trailer, I promised that the actual video book has got much more beautiful, like street professional grade animations, I should say. But yeah, that was oh, that brought warmed my heart rewatching that.
Now I can see the the glee, the happiness that you have, even looking at this thing, the video that's probably produced what, more than a year ago.
Yeah, yeah.
So from the very start up to this point, what has been your most memorable thing that kind of tell you that this is really the one that makes me move forward with the project.
What makes me move forward? I can't narrow it down to one moment. What it comes from are the reviews. So when I get some positive feedback from a family whose life this book has touched, that's what really drives me forward. So initially, during our beta read, the book was reviewed by an adoption worker, a social worker, and a child psychologist, and their reviews meant the world to me. But hearing it from the actual families whose lives it touched really is important. I will refer back to Veronica and I were actually working these holiday markets in Santa Clarita recently,
Was
and
that
we
last
went.
Saturday?
Yeah, yeah. So we were at Jingle Fest last week,
Uh,
and then we were at Boutique Fantastique at Saugus High School the weekend before. Boutique Fantastique was a 2-day event, and we sat there for 2 days. I took my books, Veronica took hers, and we were talking to this lovely woman who came by and stopped by our table. We told her all about our books, and she went on her way. She didn't make a purchase at that time, but then she showed up at Jingle Fest, and she came, and I waved her down. I said, "Oh, hi," and I can't give her name, but I waved her down and I said hello, and she came over and she's like, "Your book has been haunting me. I'm so glad you're here. I need to buy it." But she said that it haunted her, and that just like I can't express just the the emotion that I got from that. That means that I had an impact. My book had an impact on someone who wasn't even from an adoptive family. So that was really quite special.
Now, going back to the event tomorrow, would
Mhm.
you like to invite our audience again?
I would love to invite everyone. Please, please, please come see us. We're going to have refreshments. We're going to be doing, the book screening and just a Q&A and hanging out. I'm very excited to be going back to the open book and just sharing the story.
And coloring activity, right?
Coloring activity, yes, yes.
Yes. So, guys, if you're free or make yourselves free, this is an event at the Open Book in Santa Clarita in Canyon Country. That would be, let me get the exact address. That would be, it's right on underneath the screen. 19188 Soledad Canyon in Canyon Country. That's between 3 to 5 p.m. tomorrow. So we'll see and say hi to not just Adam, but also to Veronica, the illustrator, your partner, your co-partner, or your co-parent.
Yeah, my book's co-parent on our book birthday. Thank you so much, Don. This is I hope that we'll see some new faces there.
All right, you know what? I'll be there. I'll try to catch you there.
Oh,
All
wonderful!
right, yeah.
All right,
All right, Adam. Thank you again for being our guest today, and yeah, and we're looking forward to seeing you and meeting you.
thank you, Don. I'm looking forward to it too. Have a wonderful day, and bye, everybody.
Bye.